Shalom, Akim, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Kakwadash. I'd like to proceed this lesson with giving double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have the 100% truth according to the Bible, pertaining to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which are, the people of the Bible, the chosen people of the Bible. With that being said, I just want to get straight into it. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and I'm going to start at verse 4. And it says, And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. This is the point right here. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. I'm just let this play right here. This is from World Express, bringing the world closer. Big news. It says, Putin said some people have long forgotten what war is.
Все это реально грозит.
It says right here, don't they understand that this could lead to a nuclear conflict that could destroy civilization?
Конфликтом с использованием ядерного оружия, а значит уничтожением цивилизации. Они чего, этого не понимают, что ли? Это люди, знаете, это люди, которые не прошли через тяжелые испытания. Они уже забыли, что такое война. Все это значит уничтожить.
It says these people have not been through the rigors of war and have long forgotten what war is. And these people are, prepared to big, man.
Hello there. Looks like Japan now.
I'm gonna let this one play, but these people are preparing for war. Let me go back to this real quick. Matthew chapter 24, verse 7, and it reads, For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. And what are we seeing? We're seeing these sorrows come to fruition. There's been tornadoes, bad weather, hail, tennis ball sized hail, man, and great death, man, amongst you jakes. I'm gonna let this play real quick. I don't want to keep on rambling.
Like Japan now might be in the mix because North Korea just launched another missile over them, making it the second time this month. China's military is breathing down their neck. And what about Russia? Well, Russia is flexing with war games off Japan's coast. And get this, Japan doesn't even have a real army. Let that one sink in. Japan, one of the most advanced nations on earth, is still bound by a post-World War II constitution that literally bans them from having a military. They rely almost entirely on the United States to defend them. And now, with Trump questioning that one-sided deal, Japan is exposed. They might be in big trouble. And by the way, this isn't even hypothetical anymore. We're watching a nuclear-armed dictatorship lob missiles over Japanese airspace while China and Russia circle like sharks. Meanwhile, Japan is stuck in an identity crisis.
You see what he said, man? They got these nuclear-armed dictators, shooting missiles over other countries and shit, man. And that, there's certain, I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but there's certain treaty and agreements to where they are not supposed to, use any type of, any missiles, in certain, airspaces, man, because it's considered, what is it called? If anybody knows, drop it in the comment, but, it's it's only an air zone that's only for the military, it's off limits to the public, but they got, these other militaries shooting missiles over, Japan, which this dude said that Japan doesn't even have its own, military base, and they depend solely on the United States, man, to defend them, but that's also threatening the United States with North Korea just throwing missiles over like that, man, basically taunting the U.S. You know, and that's another indicator that we are way closer to World War III than there's ever been on Earth, man. Let me continue this.
Crisis, trapped between a history of peace and a future that demands power. Some Japanese leaders are now whispering what was once just unthinkable: nuclear weapons. The only country to ever suffer a nuclear attack may have to build their own. That's how serious this has all become. This is even bigger than defense, folks. This is survival. Japan is running out of time, and the decision they make next could reshape the entire world order. Things are unstable. Things are getting wild, but I want to keep you up to date. Hit that follow button if you want.
You see what dude say? He said things are unstable, man. Things are not safe now, man.
There's a health alert tonight for a new fast-spreading variant of COVID-19.
Authorities have issued a...
Ukraine staging a major...
You know, look at this right here, man. Ukraine targets Russian airfields in major drone attack. Let me just play this.
attack on Russia. Incredible video coming in, capturing the large-scale special operation. Ukrainian drones and missiles targeting 4 Russian military airfields across the country, destroying some of its nuclear-capable bomber fleet on the ground. Overnight, Russia attacking Ukraine with 479 drones and missiles, marking one of, if not the largest overnight aerial attack of the war. This comes as leaders from Russia and Ukraine are expected to return to the table for a second.
Man, you just see the, the destruction, man, that these people are doing, and this is what's causing, these countries, to create more tension, for them to ultimately be like, okay, we're going to World War III and we're going to put it to full effect.
The United States of America.
And today,
this is the England Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. It says, Prime Minister Starmer declares the United Kingdom is moving to war fighting readiness. Let me just let this play a little bit.
following through on this review, I want to set out 3 fundamental changes that we're going to deliver. First, we are moving to warfighting readiness as the central purpose of our armed forces. When we are being directly threatened by states with advanced military forces, the most effective way to deter them is to be ready. And frankly, to show them that we're ready, to deliver peace through strength. Now, Britain has the finest servicemen and women in the world. We're showing them the respect that they deserve by delivering the biggest armed forces pay rise in 20 years, and by pledging today that we will end the hollowing out of our armed forces. We'll build a fighting force that is more integrated, more ready, more lethal than ever, backed by a stronger strategic reserve, fully trained and ready to mobilize at any time. Second, everything we do will add to the strength of NATO. As we step up to take greater responsibility for our collective defense, the NATO alliance means something profound. That we will never fight alone. It is a fundamental source of our strategic strength. That's why our defense policy will always be NATO first, something that's written through this review. The transformation we are driving in our defense must add up to Britain's biggest contribution to NATO since its creation, so that when we're building new capabilities at home, we are making our allies safer too, strengthening Europe and...
You guys get the point, man. These people they're getting ready to, to go to war, man. It's going to be an all-out war between these countries, man. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24 again. And it reads, I want to just reread this again, verse 6. Matthew 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. hey, these things are coming, man. All these are the beginning of sorrows. You know, I'm gonna do you know, a couple more parts of this video. I don't want this out, but with that, you know, I hope you know, this lesson was edifying. You know, I'm gonna just label this as these are the beginning of sorrows, part 1. All right, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.